Hello and welcome to another video, not from my narrowboat. So if you're new here, my name's Laura and I live on a 48-foot narrowboat in the UK, in London, and I've traded my boat in for the weekend to spend 24 hours here in Amsterdam. This time I have a travelling buddy. This is my friend Aaron. So I've booked everything for this trip and Aaron knows nothing. Do you have any clue where we're staying tonight?
Nope. Bunk beds.
Bunk beds. And I've told him that it's because we're staying in a 16-person hostel dormitory. That's not true.
What?
Avanti.
Avanti? Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
How exciting. Yeah.
Alright, so let's do a boat tour. It's double moored, just like in London. Wibbly wobbly. You've got your sea legs. Oh, it's not ready. We can't check in yet. It's okay, we can leave our luggage here and do a boat tour later. If you had a boat, what would you call it?
Persephone.
Why?
It's literally the first thing that came to my mind.
Alright, I'm glad you thought about it then. What do you call a cluster of bicycles when they're all clustered together?
Chain gang.
Amsterdam has 165 canals. Together they combine to make a length of over 60 miles. And the canal ring is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The houseboats in Amsterdam are plugged into the power and the city sewage system. So technically none of these boats are off-grid, or at least not full-time off-grid, like in the UK, like on my boat. These houses are tilted because they're sinking. The ground that they're built on is very silty and unstable, so they've just been sinking for hundreds of years, very slowly though. Amsterdam has 1,200 bridges.
1,200?
1,200. Which is 3 times as many as Venice. There's also 2,500 houseboats and most of them are residential. Their equivalent to the Canal and River Trust, like in the UK, is called waternet. And to live on a moored vessel in Amsterdam, you need a special license called Ligplaats. There's a limited number of these permits and they're highly in demand, so the people who live on the boats are known locally as water yuppies because it's exclusively for rich people. You won't find sort of averagely waged people living on boats in Amsterdam. It's super expensive. They hardly ever give permits out these days, but when they do, it's just for historic boats. If you do have a license to use your vessel on the waterways, however, you don't need a permanent mooring to use the waterways themselves. You can dock anywhere as long as it's not a bridge or narrow or someone's mooring. The speed limit is 6 kilometers per hour and you drive on the right like you would in the UK. There's a passenger limit of 12 people plus the skipper. Any more than that and you need, I think, a commercial license, passenger boat license. Not only are the boats connected to the power and the sewage system, but they all count as addresses as well. I don't think there's any locks. It's like so flat that I don't think there's any locks.
No need for it.
Well, let's just keep our eye out and see if we see a lock.
Stay locked in.
Okay, should we go explore? know, pal, that Amsterdam was founded in the 12th century as a fishing village?
What fish was
I don't know what fish. I don't know what fish. So we found a lock. Well, I guess it's a lock. It's got lock gates, but there's no reason for it to exist. Hopped on a train 20 minutes inland from Amsterdam to Utrecht, which has been described to us as sort of a mini Amsterdam, and it's very much that. I actually prefer it to Amsterdam. It's really beautiful. This is the first and only houseboat that we've seen. 3 main loops of canal, and one of them we're not allowed to be on, so we're just trying to work out if we're on the one where we might get fined. Trying to concentrate on steering at the same time. To the left goes left and the right goes right. Oh no! I reckon when I get back on my boat I'm going to do it the wrong way. I just have muscle memory of doing the tiller on my boat. This is really confusing. It doesn't feel right. I think I'm getting used to it now. Okay, we're coming up to the junction now. We either turn or go straight on. Oh my god, I'm actually sweating. The problem that I'm having is that on my boat you have to you have to correct yourself consistently. The boat is long and you turn, you sort of do it in little mini stages, kind of. But this boat's really short. So I have previously thought in my like harebrained scheme head, wonder if I could propel my boat.
Well, if people could push it,
yeah, exactly.
You must be able
Exactly.
to.
If you could pull it, if it, like a gentle breeze pushes the boat, then I thought, you know, why couldn't I get like a boat bike contraption? But this is so tiring. This little plastic boat is so tiring that I realise my 12 or 15 ton, whatever she is plus all my possessions, yeah, that would be quite a pain. So probably going to stick with the old engine for now. I reckon we should go back to Amsterdam and get on a boat that someone else is skippering now. I'm knackered. This boat trip took us on the main outer ring canal navigation in Amsterdam. It was a unique experience seeing only what I refer to as rich boats. Wide beams, Dutch barges, beautifully manicured gardens. There was not one scrappy boat or narrowboat in sight. And although it's lovely to look at as a tourist, I can't help but think it's a shame. The canals are part of history and they belong to everyone. And I love that in London, if you have access to a boat, no matter how scrappy, you can move your boat and moor your boat in London. Cruising through the canals of Amsterdam, I had a distinct feeling that this was what London might be headed for. Permits for permanently mooring your houseboat on the canals of Amsterdam start at €250,000 apparently. Living on a boat in Amsterdam is just not viable for anyone who isn't rich. I do love though that it's so flat. It would be such a nice place to drive your boat because there's no locks, or at least no locked locks. The use of these canals though seems to be mostly reserved for tourists and tourist boats. Like London, most of these canals are incredibly shallow. The canals in Amsterdam are around 10 foot deep. Although Amsterdam and London do share one thing in common. Apparently, they fished 17,000 bicycles out of the canal last year. I dread to think how many are in London's canals. So we've made it to our digs on the boat, and it's very small, but I'm used to that. But we do have a nice porthole, bunk beds,
Some artwork.
some lovely art. It's not luxury, but it's nice.
Cozy for a night.
It's a boat, and I love a boat, so yeah. Anyway, so tired. Good morning. Isn't it a lovely sound to be woken up to, pal?
Beautiful. It's like having a massive bee in the room. Oh my god, an actual working lot. Lovely, idyllic Amsterdam.
I'm finished now.
Oh, well done. I have been the travel arranger for this trip. I've been TUI and I've booked TUI. Looks like a hospital gown. Oh, are we looking? Are we looking? Imagine if I fell in. It's loud. Why are you hot in that jacket, pal? The added features of the jacket.
Or just the features?
No, the added features.
They weren't added after the jacket was made.
I added some.
What did you add? I didn't even notice that.
It's because I'm sticky breed ninja.
You are, sticky ninja.